to understand how we find ourselves here today. So on Monday, there was a press briefing by 3 executive members of the Congress of the People, including its Deputy President, Willie Madisha, who announced that Musiwa Lekota would be suspended. And they said the reason behind that is because of what they call a divisive leader. They accused him of dividing the party. But of course, a little later on that particular day, Thabang Laoto from the party actually made another announcement saying that that particular briefing should not have taken place. He said that that is not a statement that represents the views of the entire party, but except those 3 particular executives or individuals. And they said that that particular statement should no longer be considered, and that Musiwa Lekota was not suspended. And then suddenly on today, of course, we find ourselves where we are, where Musiwa was talking. We've got JJ Tabane, the host of Power to Truth. JJ, after viewing what you saw here today, did you expect that, I mean, we know that South Africans have always even used the line cope is not coping, but did you expect that we would find, that the party leaders would find themselves here this far, where there's even, violence involved?
Not really, because, with all indications, if you look at the, good morning, myself, I hope you can hear me clearly. I was saying with what the deterioration of support for COPE, I mean, COPE is left with 2 seats from the original 30-something seats when they first came into existence. So you wouldn't think that there would be a big fight over 2 seats, So it's quite unexpected. But it is a rerun, Masego, of what happened between Bazima Shilowa and Terra Lekota. And in fact, this is what collapsed COPE and made people lose confidence in it, because it now seemed like it was all about power and positions, something that they had stated it was not about. But when you see the history of it, you can realize that people are fighting over power, even as early as 2009, straight after COPE made some inroads of more than 1.3 million votes from South Africans. So truly a terrible thing. It is worse than in that time, but it is a rerun, literally, of power struggle between factions. As we have seen, the other faction has suspended other people. So it's all a mess, Masego.
And I mean, that's exactly where I was coming to, JJ, in terms of the fact that it's not as though COPE has been doing very well in terms of the electorate. The electorate has clearly not agreed to whatever their promises are. The electorate doesn't believe in COPE. So this particular issue means that perhaps by 2024, COPE doesn't even see itself having a single seat in Parliament. Maybe they want to, or both factions want to exhaust whatever time they have until the official time when South Africans take to the polls?
COPE is finished with this, because you are saying that in the next election they may not have a presence. If you look at the city of Johannesburg, they've got 1 seat, Masego, right? And understand that they want that one person who has 1 seat, Colin Makubele, to be the speaker. As we speak now, there's a motion of no confidence that's going to be tabled with the city of Johannesburg, and they want to put somebody whose party is so fractured to actually preside over the biggest city in the continent. So I'm not quite sure what they are thinking, and I only see this as a final nail, because I don't think they can recover from this reputation. And even those who thought they could give them one more chance would be completely afraid to do so. These people do not mind to have a public spectacles where they are physically fighting. It means that all reason has gone out of the window. This is sad, because this country, Masego, needs a counter force of proper opposition that can actually balance what is now can be seen as a one-party state.
JJ, I have to quickly interject, because Musiwa Lekota is in fact now briefing the media. Let's take you there live.
No. I've got a reason for saying that, because there have been a number of media briefings that have been taken. Even this, one of these boys that was here was saying to me that I'm old, I'm tired, and I must go and retire and so on. Now, that is a thing that has been spread by Comrade Madisha and others at the manner where they held meetings there. They said those things. In other provinces, they've told people that I'm actually on my way to the grave. And there's no chance I will wake up, I will come up and return to do the work of the party. Now, I'm saying to you, I'm not frail, as you can see me. I'm quite alive. I'm quite active. I'm ready to do anything that I should be asked to do. In fact, shortly before I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. I'd been driving across the country as far as the KZN, as far as the Eastern Cape, as far as the Western Cape, driving myself. I don't have a driver. I drive myself. I go anywhere I need to go. I've got an official car. I drive that car. I go anywhere to go and do my work and so on. Why people should spread stories that I'm now on my way to the grave and so on, I don't know. So when I came back and I discovered that there has been an affidavit done by the Deputy President, he had signed it, and we've got that affidavit with us here, that he signed it. He said he was authorized by the party to do so. I said, no, this is not true. And I signed a counter affidavit pointing out that this is not true, and if it is so, it's a violation of the provisions of the Constitution, because no one, not even myself, can just go and make an affidavit in the name of the party. If I do so, I have the duty, the responsibility to the party to pay for whatever expenses I incur in the name of the party. Now, I have been wondering, why is it so urgent that I must be driven out of the office of the party? Because 2 weeks back, I called for a meeting. I said, no, let's have a meeting. Let everybody come, the Congress National Committee. I want you, comrades, to come and talk to us in a fully representative meeting. Comrade Madisha refused to go. Comrade Bloom did not come. Comrade Shego did not come to this meeting. And they tried to prevail on me that if we have called that meeting, people are going to go there and fight. So I said, but who is going to fight? Because we need to go there and elect a general secretary. We don't have a general secretary. We must have a secretary and a deputy secretary. So who is going to go there and fight? Fight with whom? For what? Because I'm inviting all of you. They didn't do so. Now I'm beginning to understand when these youngsters run in here and they try to do this, that the whole thing was, don't have a meeting. Don't create a space at which Mr. Lekota can say that he has this affidavit which says that so-and-so has been authorized, Mr. Madisha has been authorized to make these things that he's doing, etc., etc. Now, when I am there to talk and say it's not true, and the evidence is there, written documents are there, signed affidavits, the only thing is to try and get rid of Mr. Lekota. But I'm not going to the grave, I'm sorry. I am not going to the grave. I am going to, if it need be, I'm prepared to go to the courts and say, I see here it's been said that I am corrupt. Generally, when somebody is said to be corrupt, it must mean it's somebody who's stealing public funds or stealing party funds or something. I challenge any individual who can bring forward evidence and say, on such and such a day, Mr. Lekota stole this money. I take deep pride in not being a thief. I don't want to be identified with thieves. And I will not allow anybody to say these kind of things. 702 was asking this conversation. Another radio was asking Mr. Madish, when you say he's corrupt, what corruption? Is this money? Has it to do with money? What has it to do with? So, I want to say to South Africans once more, I have not and I will not steal anybody's money. If they don't mean I steal money by these allegations of corruption, they must tell the country, what is it that I did that makes me deserve to be described as corrupt? I really want to know that. So I do want to thank you for giving me an opportunity to say some of these things to you. The rest of the issues, members of the party are here. They will reply to these issues, they'll talk to them. I want to tell the members of the Congress of the People, I'm still ready to serve the party. If you, the members of the party, would like me to do so. But if, for any number of reasons, you feel, no, maybe we should release you, Comrade Terra, you've done your bit and so on, I will also say thank you. Because I never thought I would be the president of the Congress of the People for life. I never thought about that way. So that's what I'd like to say to this press conference. But don't accept any story. Don't believe any stories that I steal money, that I'm corrupt, and all these things that they've now been saying about me. I could no longer keep quiet and sit there, because now people say, but why is Terra not responding? Why is he not saying, no, it is not true? I'm saying now, it is not true. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Comrade President. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been the statement that has been issued on behalf of the Congress National Committee as it met on the 20th of August, 2022 in Bloemfontein.
So, sorry, Comrade, I'm sorry, man, to disturb you, man. Just one sentence I'd like to make. I'm not sure if I did make it or not. With regard to Comrade Theo, I do want to say this, comrades. As far as I'm aware, he's not been associated with all these things that these comrades are busy doing here.
Yes.
And when it comes to the resources of the party, he is the treasurer. He keeps the monies of the party. And I can guarantee anybody, the courts, everybody, when it should be necessary, he'll put the books of the party open, and anybody can see whether it has been stolen money or anything. I don't think anything of that nature. He's not also been in these meetings that they have been calling.
Yes. No, thank you very much, President, for that clarification. Now, before I open for questions, I just need to say this, that you've heard about this court case and the affidavit. It relates to the matter in Ekurhuleni. And as we said in the statement, Willie Madisha had no authorization. He went to the court, the matter was set down for a date, and he abandoned that because he had no authority, legal authority to do so. He abandoned that. As a consequence, the party stands to have a liability of over 1 million rand. Of 1 million rand, for which we had not given Willie Madisha any authorization as is required by the Constitution. And so the CNC in Bloemfontein resolved that as per the Constitution, Article 7.3, that anybody who litigates without authorization must bear the consequences themselves. And so I just thought that I should clarify that.
Yes.
Questions are now open. Any questions, ladies and gentlemen? What? Madam, you'll indicate your name and your news platform.
Obviously, sorry, Valita Tani from Vision Africa. Obviously, there was a press briefing held here today, but things have slightly changed over what we saw transpire. As COPE, are you not concerned that as much as you continue to be on a downward spiral, you are still fighting? Since your inception, there have been tussles for power in this party, and it's still more than a couple of years later, where you only have 2 seats in Parliament, there still seems to be a power struggle within your party. Are you not concerned with the revelations that took place today and where you find yourself as a party? And as the media, who do we take seriously? Who is the real COPE? Thank you.
Okay.
My name is Manuel from PhD. My question is related to what Matt is asking, but my question is more, are you not concerned about what this is saying out to your supporters and those people that vote for you? Because what we saw here surely must be shameful, for those who are supporting the party. Aren't you concerned what this will do to the party in the light that we are heading to an election? And of course, COPE has been on a downward spiral as far as support is concerned.
Any other question?
Abongile Tumago, SABC News. From what is said right here, what are you, gentlemen, sitting in front of us, learning? What do you think you've done wrong? What do you think you can right to make sure that something of this nature doesn't happen again? Thank you.
All right. Is that all? Thank you. Is it the national chair? You want to run?
Oh. No, thanks, Comrade Peace. Maybe let me start with the question that was raised by Mbali. Where Mbali is asking a very valid question to say, who is the real COPE? Given that now you've got 2 sides. Well, look, we have been here before. The same question, I think, arose at the time back then. Now, when we read our statement, we made reference to the Constitution. The Constitution spells out how the party is established and how it functions. So, it also spells out what happens when certain things happen. You know, the issue around the reality of COVID, I've always said, at times, you know, you can have people posturing and giving you a sense or posturing themselves to be something, which they are not. At the moment, we are talking about 3 individuals who are within COPE, and I don't want to link them to all these other people that have happened here. But in all fairness, we have said, and the President has spelled it out, that he called a meeting of the Congress National Committee. And in this meeting, some, particularly these 3 individuals, opted not to attend. Instead, called, whether that meeting existed or not, I'm not sure. But they decided to call a meeting to proclaim themselves as a CNC. Now, I want to take the media back so that we can also go and check it. In the first instance where I said we have been here before, there was a ruling by court during the time when Cope was in the same situation. And one of those rulings was that you cannot go and have a meeting under the tree and then you declare yourself to be that body. So we have introduced ourselves and indicated to everybody that the president is here, well and fit as against what has been claimed. Second is that in his constitutional duties, he called a meeting. I can't talk about the other meeting because we don't know. We don't know what constituted that meeting. We don't know who was present at that meeting. But if by any chance anybody would like to know who the 17 people plus the one that handed in an apology, the attendance register is there. You can match that against the list of people who are the members of the Congress National Committee as elected at the last Congress. So this other Cope, I don't know where it was elected. I don't know. From where I'm seated, there's never been any other Congress. So there cannot be two Copes. Maybe there have been a Congress that we don't know of. But from my understanding is that if there is a party and you call a Congress and you elect members to their positions, then there must be a record that shows that there has been a Congress in that regard. So there's only one code. Within that one code, there are all these renegades that you find in any normal society. You'll always find such situations. Thank you.
Right. You want to add, Eric? No. I think it covers quite a lot of the questions. I think if you group them together, they almost similar. Yes, as the national chair said, there's only one Congress of the people, and of course we are concerned about this kind of behavior that we see. But all that it tells us is that when people don't want other people to express views, it tells you that they are uncomfortable and they are trying to hide something. And we can assure you that from where we're sitting, even from the messages that we are receiving, the members and the leaders of COPE in the provinces are saying, you are on the right track, return the party to its constitutional route and restore discipline in the party. And this is exactly what the CNC did on the 20th of August. All these things that you see is just a reaction from the fact that the CNC took critical decisions that we will be implementing, and we are certainly going to implement them, and we're not going to be intimidated, or we're not going to withdraw from our action. Eric?
Yeah, I wanted to address the last question. The one of Abungile that says, what have you done wrong? Referring to ourselves. And what lessons have we learned from what we have done wrong? And how are we going to correct what we have done wrong? It has been wrong for us as Congress of the People to take long to make sure that the position of the Acting General Secretary is put in place, and that of the Deputy General Secretary, Acting Deputy General Secretary is put in place. Because that has opened the challenges that we are facing. And we have corrected that as Congress National Committee to make sure that, now we have the Acting General Secretary and the Acting Deputy General Secretary who will make sure that, what has been said by Comrade Pakes, that of discipline. We will make sure that, the policies of the organization are fully obliged, and members who transgress face the might of the organization. We will not be able to allow situations such that we'll have delinquents to come and display their displeasure in this kind of and unacceptable behavior like you have just witnessed. And we are fully assuring the public out there to say we will make sure that that is corrected. Of course, we are people who are law-abiding citizens. Where a need arises, we will make sure that, we open cases against such kind of people for what has happened. We learned that there is one camera that has been damaged here, and we'll make sure that it has to be corrected. And those people who were here claiming to be members of Congress of the People will have to face might of the law, and as an organization, we'll make sure that they account. If they are members of the organization, they come and account 3 as they are, because there were 3 in number who came here. So that is what I wanted to address, and we'll make sure that in future we are very, very, very strict as far as implementation of the policies of the organization. That is what I'm promising the public. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you still have a follow-up question?
Again from News from Africa. My question is to Nadal Reporter. You were saying that your term comes to an end. I think it's next year, if I'm not mistaken. At the end of your term, how do you feel about your own colleagues forcing you to step down from your position, saying that they have suspended you, and using your illness as leverage to say that you're basically saying that your time as their leader is up? And at your next conference, will you be participating, and will you be looking at retaining your position as the president of COPE, or do you think that it's time that COPE saw new leadership? Thank you.
Well, let me just say that, first of all, no individual who is not acting as part of the Congress National Committee can dismiss either myself or any member of the organization. The only structure that has authority to do that is the Congress National Committee. I cannot be suspended by 3 individuals walking the streets. I can be suspended by the Congress, the majority of the Congress National Committee, in a sitting of its meeting. Now, I don't think, therefore, I'm not interested in all these stories that I'm suspended and then this is that and so. Who suspended me? Where was that meeting held? Where are the minutes of this thing? And so on and so on. All of that it makes no sense whatsoever to talk about suspending. Now, I have already told you the provisions of the Constitution is that I may serve as president for 2 terms. At the end of that term, it's up to the party to decide what it's going to do with itself. Now, I cannot prophesy. I don't know what the party is going to decide to do. It's not some 3 individuals. The party will decide what it wants to do. It will elect who it wants to elect if it wants to change its constitution, but so far the constitution has not been changed. So I cannot talk about something that I also don't know where it's going to go.
Are you available to serve again?
Well, there's nothing that prevents me from making myself available. If the party wants me to do that, there's nothing that's going to prevent me.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, with that,
I thought
is there somebody? Is there somebody? Oh, you just crashed. You know what, ladies and gentlemen, I've got to close this thing by saying this thing. Because it is important to say that, the characters of people, what they do, how they handle themselves in the past, is very important because it informs their character, their behaviors in the past. Now, if you go to the profile of Willie Madisha, he's got this tendency of behaving in exactly the same way. well, with some variations here and there. You will recall that apart from the fallout of Polokwane, Willie Madisha engaged in unbecoming conduct that gave SACTU, COSATU, and the SACP a reason to remove him. This conduct of sowing divisions and of behaving in this manner is not new. It's the same pattern of behavior that has been happening. And so we see this thing that is happening in Ekurhuleni. We know about and we have been approached by senior directors in the Ekurhuleni municipality who were very frightened that we were going to lose their jobs. Because suddenly this councillor that the province of Gauteng correctly removed was going around introducing Willie Madisha to these directors in that Ekurhuleni municipality. And it is this conduct, part of his conduct, that we are actually reprimanding him. And we reprimanded him for that, and we've made it quite clear to him that this conduct of yours is not right. What business do you have to be introduced to directors in the municipality? So I just thought that in trying to close this thing, that this behavior pattern is not new. It has been coming along for many years. Probably it has been contained for some time, but now it's coming out. So with that, ladies and gentlemen...
Before you close, I want to clarify one thing.
Oh, okay. Very quick clarification.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify to members of the media that there has been this misconception that the president suspended Willie Madisha, Dennis Bloom, and Sheko after the president has been suspended. That is very wrong, because they have received their letters of suspension. When I checked, it was on the 26th of August 2020. It was on the 26th of August 2020, and that's when they were served with their letters of suspension. And also, it has been alleged in the media that Bloom was denying the fact that he received one. I wanted to make it public to the media today to say that's a blatant lie, because Dennis Bloom has received his, and then on the address that he uses, that I will not divulge here. And I invite members of the media who wants to satisfy themselves to please come forth and satisfy themselves on the emails that have been sent to the said comrades. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. With that, is there somebody?
No, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
If you are going to, I just need to verify the dates, because there would have, if it's the 26th, it would have been after the press briefing, before the press briefing that they had, right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
In other words, they were
CMC,
suspended, and then they held a press briefing suspending the president.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like Isma Hashule being suspended and then suspending Ramaphosa.
I was outside doing crossings for our radio stations, and I saw from power, and I just need to check, have you had any one-on-one physical meetings with Tate Madisha before? The opposite in football.
Oh, you're frightened, huh?
I don't know now. Have you met with him recently?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, okay. And it's because he did mention, and I think my colleague Bali will attest to that you were at a meeting about a fortnight ago, prior to the meeting. Yes, with him. So I just needed to check.
Yes,
if
yeah,
any
I did.
All right.
All right, with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. And this press briefing comes to an end now. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. This conference is ended. Thank you.
Meals or something like that.
Well, that's an end to a very dramatic press conference by the Congress of the People, that's COPE. As you can see there, some of its leaders, including its president, Musiwa Lekota, as well as its national chairperson, Teboho Leote, who was the one who actually came out on Monday after the deputy president, or the now suspended deputy president, Willie Madisha, came out to say that the party has decided to suspend Musiwa Lekota. Teboho Leote is the one who came out with another statement saying that that statement from earlier was not representing the Congress of the People. If you've just joined us, there was a scuffle, and as you can see there at the bottom of your screens, breaking news that there was a fist fight when two young people saying that they are part of, one is saying that he is the chairperson of COPE in the Gauteng province, the other saying that he is the leader of the youth in COPE, saying that they are believing that Lekota is divisive. There is footage from earlier for those of you who've just joined us. That was